I'm going to be real with you though. If you are trying to make your healing journey come across as aesthetic, then you are probably much farther from achieving true inner peace than the person losing their shit in Costco. Hey y'all. Thank you for joining me yet again on this never-ending quest of self-discovery. If you're new here, hi, my name is Michelle, and I like to make videos on spirituality, self-discovery, and learning how to live a more authentic life in a world that feels increasingly more fake every single day. The other day, I was searching on YouTube for breathwork videos to follow along with because I needed to work through some stuff, okay? What I encountered was dozens of videos of serene, almost ethereal looking individuals sitting lotus pose in these magnificent landscapes. And no shade to these creators, by the way. I see the vision and I appreciate the effort. Like, that will always be a million times better than those AI meditation videos you see nowadays. Like, what even is that? I digress. Anyways, this got me thinking about how interesting it is that a very specific image and persona dominates the healing sphere online. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the soft life trend by now. I mean, the term alone just evokes images of homemade matcha, morning Pilates classes, and expensive red light masks. You know the ones. The internet sells us a very idealistic version of healing, one that is tidy and attractive. It has to look good so that other people want it. How else do you expect anyone to sell their 5-day course on how to achieve inner peace? I'm going to be real with you though. If you are trying to make your healing journey come across as aesthetic, then you are probably much farther from achieving true inner peace than the person losing their shit in Costco. I guess I'm just not really sure when the term healing became synonymous with perfection. This idea of being healed online is very much about having everything in your life in order, having a very rigid schedule, and presenting in a way that makes you look extremely put together. And there's nothing wrong with any of that, right? I think it's good to have order in your life. And I think that it can allow you to reach a place of inner peace because you have systems in place that maybe allow you to not think so hard about things. But it paints a very one-dimensional picture of what healing really looks like. It's not all doom and gloom, you know. I don't want to go the opposite way with it where healing has to be ugly for it to be real. But there is a very real aspect of healing that is kind of brutal. I mean, when you're going through something really difficult, I don't think that you need the added pressure of looking put together while you try to process it. I want to tell y'all a story from when I was younger. When I was a teenager, I was given the nickname Krabby. I was known for being just like the cranky girl who didn't really want to do anything. The term lazy was definitely thrown around a lot. But at the same time that lovely nickname was given to me, I was dealing with a chronic illness. I was diagnosed with psoriasis at 11 years old, and it was very painful. Puberty is hard enough. Imagine having a physically painful chronic illness while also going through that. I was frustrated with my body. I didn't have answers on how to fix it back then. We didn't have really good medication options, so I was kind of just freeballing it for many, many years. But I never talked about it. And people thought that the way that I acted, the way that I dressed, the lack of energy was because I was just an angsty teenager. Now, I really, really disliked being called crabby. I disliked even more being called lazy. And my solution to that was to just keep my head down, to work even harder. I tried really hard to do well in school. I tried really hard to be good at sports and things like that, but truthfully, I think I just lacked a little bit of skill in that department. But the point that I'm trying to get at is that I tried really hard to appear the way that other people wanted me to. Non-combative, just go with the flow, hard worker that could do all of the things that everybody else could do. It didn't help anything, you know. Inside, I still felt broken and frustrated. And I don't think that I really allowed myself to feel those feelings until I was much older. It took me a really long time to learn how to stop making other people feel comfortable and do things that actually allowed me to get better. It turns out that the real way to heal both physically and emotionally was to establish boundaries, to tell people, no, I actually don't have the energy for that today. No, I actually can't eat that because it will cause my skin to flare up. And it's so interesting because once you start prioritizing yourself and you stop putting everyone else above you, things change in your life. Healing changes a person, and not everybody is going to be able to meet you where you're at once you get better. Healing can also look like letting go of people that were maybe once really close to you. Something very interesting that I experienced was that people were still holding on to this old image of who I was, this cranky, crabby girl. And they wouldn't accept that I was any different, even though I felt like a completely different person. And it just wasn't practical to sustain those relationships anymore because it felt like they were just trying to hold on to a version of myself that didn't exist anymore. And it sucks because you don't want to cut anyone out of your life, right? But sometimes you have to in order to grow. I remember when I finally came out of this period of healing, I had posted on Instagram about how, I had just had a birthday and that prior year was one of the hardest years of my life. But all anybody saw of it was a picture of me looking joyful, looking strong, and celebrating my life. Social media is a highlight reel, and we don't really talk about all of the painful in-betweens. And I think that that can be really dangerous in some ways because it makes people going through real tribulations feel as though they're not doing good enough because they're struggling. I often think about like videos of people having public freakouts, and my first thought is usually like, God, what have they gone through to get them to this point? Because I can't tell you how many times I have driven down the highway just absolutely screaming my head off in the car. And you know what? I always feel better. I mean, there's just so much going on right now, and I don't think that we should be expected to keep it in. So if I'm driving down the highway and somebody is riding my ass, you best believe that I am just going to scream at the top of my lungs and just let everything that has been weighing me down go. And there have probably been plenty of people that have witnessed me do this. I have no shame in that. It is not healthy to keep everything in and to just fake it till you make it, if you will. Oftentimes, the things that actually make us feel better are the things that are going to make other people uncomfortable. And that doesn't mean that you get to be a dick to everybody just because you're going through a tough time. That's not what I mean. But just allowing yourself to be a human and be a little bit unhinged sometimes. Because, like, honestly, it's so funny that we're so expected to have everything together and the world, it feels like it's falling apart. Why are we expected to have the perfect workout routine or meal prep every single week or just be like the most pleasant person that anyone has ever met in their entire life? There's a lot of rage, a lot of collective rage that we are all feeling. And I genuinely believe that we would be in a much better place socially if we all just allowed ourselves to feel that rage every once in a while. But you can't let it consume you, right? It has to be mindfully directed. Don't take it out on the innocent cashier at the grocery store or, your neighbor, but really channel it into something productive. For example, I love to dance. I have been pole dancing for about 5 years now, I think, and I bring all of my emotions to class. I bring my anger, I bring my sadness, I bring my joy. All of the things that I've been feeling throughout the week is there with me in the studio. And it helps me process it. And I look goofy sometimes. I look real silly because when you channel emotion through your body, it just does weird things. Like, just try it. Just feel anger and start moving and see what happens. You're going to look pretty weird. But that's okay. It's okay to be weird. And it's okay to not be everyone's cup of tea all the time. It's okay to not be aesthetic. I guess that's all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to come on here and rant about that a little bit. And I think I might like to do some more informal videos like this. Definitely let me know if you loved it or if you hated it. That's okay. Probably do more anyways. But I will just leave you with this. How your life feels is much more important than how it looks. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.